What's up? What's happening? What it is, what it ain't, and what it gonna be like. What's happening, y'all? It's Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation, representing all the way from Metro ATL. Alright? What's happening, y'all? What's happening? How y'all doing? Oh, I just thought about it. Y'all saw that I did it? Now, this is the A-Town sign. You know, Usher been telling y'all, teaching y'all for years. You say, peace up, A-Town down, right? But if I put the two A's like this and put the fingers, that's an M. So you got the Metro ATL. Yeah. Don't say you didn't start it here, all right? When y'all start throwing it up, don't be talking about, oh yeah, I just created this. No. Metro ATL. Oh man, how about that? How about that? Look at that. Look at that. Atlanta, Georgia, all right, and all surrounding areas. You feel? So anyway, out here getting to it, y'all, doing this courier work. Shout out to all my fluorescent riders, everybody who does any type of work. You in a warehouse, you know what I'm saying, you on the road like me doing courier drops, you in them trucks and for the browns, for the purple and the orange, for the what's the other company? For the yellow, red, and black, for the yeah, you know, whoever, man, whoever's paying the bills, right? Whoever's helping you get to the bag, to all the little phrases, to the coin, to your munion, you know, all that old stuff, right? Let's get to it. But hey, no matter what, especially if you artist, you get where you really gotta be. Hey, always, and this go for everybody, but I especially talking to my artists. I want you to keep this close to your heart. Respect first, then power, then money. That's it. That's it. That's all you gotta remember. Respect first, then power, then money. Now, for some of y'all, that's a struggle because, first of all, you don't know what respect is. You think respect is making somebody fear you, and fear is not respect. People can overcome fear. Fear is a choice. What you say, Will Smith? Fear is a choice. Got the movie? Let me give you all the line again. After Earth. Danger is real. Fear is a choice. So you can be dangerous and think that people respect you because they fear you. That's not respect. That's not respect. That's just waiting to overcome the fear. Stop making the choice of fear, to choose not to fear, and figure out a way to fight or flight. Either I'm gonna get so far away from you that you don't matter, or if I gotta fight you, I'm gonna take you out because I got the bigger weapon. And it ain't gotta be a gun or a knife. Mind is your ultimate weapon. Are you sharpening your mind? All right. There's today's wisdom, and there'll be more. I mean, that's just starting it off real right and ready for y'all. The way it ought to be. You understand? Giving it to y'all the way it ought to be. Now, what's up? But now here's the fun part. We're gonna see who's a subscriber, because only subscribers can talk in my chat. Only subscribers. We're gonna see. We're gonna see who the real ones are now. We're gonna see who really up in here. Subscribers only, man. Subscribers only. Well, what's up to everybody who came in correct? Didn't say nothing crazy. Everybody came respectful. I appreciate you. I really do. Y'all look like y'all might be y'all need to be subscribers. If you coming like that, 23 in the building, how the hell only got one thumbs up? What in the world? What's really going on? Huh? Well, okay, there we go. That's more like it. If you talk about them, then it drops. Because they did. Oh, that's right. I ain't real. I did come in here to say something stupid. No, oh, yeah. Bye-bye. 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 Oh, man. CarPlay thing, trying to do my GPS at the same time, can't get that on screen. I be wanting to go live, so I'm trying to make the best of every minute, talk to y'all, make some moments with y'all, but also finish the work, you know what I'm saying? It's all work, every bit of this is work, right? And usually when I got disconnected, you can't hear the radio at the same time, but for some, I guess it's a trade-off. It's either like you gonna have the radio on or you gonna have your GPS on where you can see it. It's still running and it's still gonna tell where to turn and all that, but it's not doing it. I like to be able to see it, that's all. Oh boy, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out, you know what I mean? So back to the point. I was telling y'all about this, talking about Star Trek, right? So the new show is out. They're on episode 5 now, which I started the very, very beginning of and had to cut it off and say, okay, I gotta get back to this later. I ain't got time to watch it. But I like the show more or less, okay? I'm not one of these haters that's out here like, oh, this is whack. It's so different from anything else, and I hate it. Because that's how people are acting, right? All these so-called true Star Trek fans. They say they true Star Trek fans. See, I naturally want to say Wars because I'm a Star Wars fan first, but I do like Trek. And so it's getting on my nerves because in my history of loving Star Trek and being, as I call myself, born again Star Trek fan, I didn't understand Trek until I was older. When I was a kid, I didn't get it. I learned to love Trek. But that came from years later. Like literally, I was grown, you know, young but grown, and started really like, I mean, I was binging it, like really watching it, seriously watching it, wanting to understand it better and know what made it what it was, what Gene Roddenberry's original vision was, and who he was as to why, you know, you got to know that, as KRS-One said, you don't know if you don't know the history of the author, you don't know what you're reading. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. You gotta know the history of the author to know what you're reading. And that goes for anything. That's why I tell y'all, if y'all gonna really be about this channel, yo, study up on me. I ain't got no hidden history. My public image is out there. I am the head of ONYXCON. I ran an event named ONYXCON first. It was a Comic-Con. Then we went online. Everything is what it is here now. And you know, if you ask ChatGPT, it's gonna give you some facts about me. I did it, and it only had like one thing off about one of the dates of when we did something for the event, and I had to correct it. He was like, I won't get that wrong again. I was like, well, thank you very much, computer. Like they say on Star Trek, okay, computer, do this for me, computer. You know, so it got it right. It got it right, and everything else was on point. It knew everything else more or less that we had done. It knew the status of where we are now, not doing events anymore, but doing everything with online content in this media network, as I like to call it. And that is everywhere where you see us, our brand, where we're on fan base, Instagram, YouTube. We have a Twitch. We have a TikTok, but I admit neither one of those am I heavily involved in. I did it just to have presence, but it's not my style. I do like Twitch, but Twitch is different in the sense, I mean, if I want to watch people gaming, I mostly watch it on YouTube. You know, watching somebody game on my phone or a tablet, that just ain't as fun. I like watching it on the screen. So I like, you know, and I know there's a way to do it and put it up on your TV and all that, but whatever. Like, it's convenient. YouTube is so convenient. So I love me some YouTube. It is what it is. And, you know, so we're everywhere. We're all over the place. We got all kind of stuff. Like our topics, we got everything. We multi-niche. It's all about art, life, creative lifestyle, all types of cool stuff, right? And you know, so when you're doing this type of content and you do the reviews like I do, when it comes to something like Star Trek, like I say, I learned to love it. And I just hate when people who, you can tell, they're very one-sided in life any damn way. They think they know it all. And then they get on here and they try to make these half-ass reviews. Oh, Lord forbid, they got a fancy microphone in their little home studio because they got a little money from their little job and they feel special in the world because they got a little microphone that makes their voice sound nice whenever they say what they got to say, right? But they're going on and on and on, and everything's negative. Like I saw one, I was doing my research. You know, I don't make up stuff. All I gotta do is get out there and and get involved, and you'll quickly have enough to speak on. But I was trying to see like what people's reflections of the show were, and from IMDb, which is where it started, I saw those reviews, and everybody had these bad written reviews. There may have been like one person that said it's just a, I don't know, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic. So I made a whole counter argument to that kind of nonsense. And then I broke down my history with Star Trek and why I learned to love Trek. And I especially expressed that if you're gonna watch this or
at the next light, turn right.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I knew I had the audio on. There it is. I want to hear it so I know where to go. Here we go. We good now. We good. But I told her, I said, look, and sorry, y'all, I'm gonna have to do it with this. It's either that or no broadcast. Which, you know, we're not doing that. I got stuff to talk to y'all about. So anyway, I said in my video, the one that's loading. This is loading right now. You can watch it later. Hopefully it'll load today because it's long. I ain't gonna even front. It's long. I know y'all ain't got no patience, but whatever.
The light, turn right.
But it's worth it. It's worth watching. And I break down how with this show, a lot is still the same in the what I call the formula of Star Trek. If you get back to the original characters that made it what it is and what people learned to love, of course.
There are police reported ahead.
You got Kirk. You got, they cracked me up with that police report now on Google, how they tell you where the cops are and stuff. It's like, yep, they're there. But what I hate is when they had a button like, are they still there? Like, can I just drive? I mean, I don't want to be looking for them. I mean, if I see them, I see them. If I don't, I don't. But I don't want to be all extra paranoid about it. Damn, it's okay. Like, are they still there? And it keeps asking you. It won't go away. Do you see the cops? Are they still there? Man, if you don't let me drive, goddamn, you know. Oh man. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but I feel like if you hit the button, I've done it. I've said, yeah, they're still there, or no, they're not there. But
take your next ride onto Wellington
really
Way.
Get it off. Like, just stop telling me. I don't want to hear it again. Please stop telling me. But like, it cracks me up.
Turn right onto Wellington Way.
When they do that, it's like, I'm like, man, you're making my nerves bad. I'm trying to focus. And then I wonder if y'all working with them. Like, hell, if I push the button and this cop is like, oh, you worried about me? Why you worried? And then they whoop whoop. They following you or something. Why are you concerned about it? Damn, Google told me you were right there. What you bothering me for, fool? You know. Anyway. So, I don't really like that song. What is that? Anyway. So, y'all, this...
At the next stop sign, turn left.
Okay, turn left. All right. So, basically, on this show, you got a character who reminds you of Kirk. Who is that? The main character. Played by this brother.
At the stop sign, turn left onto Yorkshire Place.
I wasn't surprised.
Then you take your first right on Marlborough Court.
That he was definitely of direct African descent. So, he's black, he's... Latino, but they didn't express which group of Latino, you know, what roots.
Turn right onto Marlborough Court.
I think some Asian roots, like Indian roots in there. His brother, like, he's the perfect blend of, I mean, I know when they do this, they always get characters like that, because they're like, look, he'll appeal to a bunch of markets. It's like,
you have arrived.
For real. You know, everybody sees themselves in this kind of facial features and ethnicity, what, you know, phenotype. It's a reality. It's very strategic. But he's a rebel like Kirk is. So he's got the potential to be a leader, but just like how when Kirk started, he wasn't, well, actually, when you first see Kirk, yeah, he was already a leader. When they retold the story, they show how, you know, by the time you got the J.J. Abrams movies, which people either love or hate, I like the J.J. Abrams movies, okay? I got some issues with them now. They ain't a Star Trek that ever was made. They ain't a show or movie or anything that as a writer myself, I can't look at and say, I wish they had done this a little better. I wish this was more, or I wish they had embraced that a little bit better, or what. And then there's stuff that is so good, it's classic on my list, where, you know what? Yeah, if it was something else, I would have wrote it, but I didn't. So I just give full respect to whoever did, because that shit is amazing, you know? And for most of Star Trek, I have enough episodes I feel that way about from various shows, not just one particular one, you know, where even ones I didn't like as much as the other series, like, you know, I like Next Generation, but I like DS9 probably more than anything because I like seeing Cisco as the leader of everything, you know? And he's a great actor. I love that brother as an actor. He's amazing. And to me, you know, he could run circles around Shatner. I mean, quite frankly, it ain't no disrespect. It's just Shatner's one type of actor. This brother's a whole nother level. And if you know his work, you know where I'm going with that. But that's not the diss Shatner. It's just a different level of actor. Like, you know, and before somebody says, oh, it's because it's white and it's black. No, stupid. Sometimes it's just about talent and skill. And if you do a thing, you know what it is. So, like, to make it even, to make my point even on some racial shit, since people are so racial, if you're talking Star Wars, Hamilton that plays Luke, man, that's an acting mofo. I've seen him do one particular role that woke me up beyond Luke Skywalker to realize this dude is amazing. I didn't even know who he was when I was watching the movie. They had him in makeup and stuff, and he's looking so crazy. Have you ever seen the movie Sushi Girl? The Sushi Girl, it's a heist movie. Had the late, great Tony Todd in it. Talk about a monologue from Tony Todd, one of the best he ever delivered. That shit was scary, crazy good. But the Sushi Girl, that movie up. Yeah, you think you know about some Mark Hamill. Look up that movie. You won't know who Mark Hamill is. You won't be able to see Luke Skywalker when you see that, that's what I say, great actor. It's like that role has defined his entire career, but he's done so much more. And he doesn't get credit for it as an actor. So to me, my brother who played Cisco, he's a lot like that. You got a man called Hulk. You got all these other characters he's played in all these different shows and movies. It's just a different. Yes. So basically, y'all. Basically. Shout out to all my Caribbean people. They don't say basically. They say basically. When you look at this show now, and like I say, that I love to do. I love acting, and I'm saying, going back to Kirk, I was
turn left onto Chesterfield Drive. Then at the next stop sign, you'll turn right.
As great an actor as William Shatner is, he's a great actor, right? He got so
head toward Waterford Place.
Whenever I've seen him do interviews and stuff, I feel like I'm still kind of watching Kirk. With the best of the best, you're still watching them through. It's like the character's a filter. It's like Robert De Niro as the filter of this character, or that. You're not acting, you're just being. Why would I do that? It's just stupid. Just gonna make the right. Goofy ass. Don't tell you when GPS try to get you.
Turn left onto Chesterfield Drive. In 800 feet, make a U-turn.
What? Why are we still doing U-turns? Man, where you got me going, GPS? God almighty. Okay, they just wasted time.
Make a U-turn.
Yeah, they wasted time out here, y'all. They wasted time. Anyway, I ain't gonna worry about it. We're gonna just talk it up. We're gonna just talk it up. So anyway, I think some people become their characters for life. Like, they don't be like, okay, I'm on break. They just like, yo, that's all I gotta be forever to be famous, and I'm gonna stay that guy, and I'm gonna stay that character as a lady.
Take your next left onto Chesterfield Drive.
Fine, but more is all I'm saying.
Turn left onto Chesterfield Drive.
And I think, you know, he did have the way he's diplomatic and all of that, but I understand why some people love a Kirk type character. It's the same type of people who like Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat and would put him as the leader of everything else that could have been head lead in that movie coming up. And I mean, I like the actor who's about to play him from The Boys. He's a great actor. So I think he's going to give him a little bit, because I like him as an actor. I might end up liking it more than I ever like, because I do not like Johnny Cage as a character. I can't stand that character. He's like everything that's wrong with a Hollywood star. And having been in Hollywood, I know.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
I know how egotistical and crazy they can be. You know, the worst of them. But I also know how the best of them are. And I hate that there's...
At the stop sign, turn right onto Lawrence Smith Road.
Celebration of the pompous negative people in Hollywood, that some people think that's how all stars act, and that's not. Like, I'm proud to say a great majority of these people that you think would be the assholes are some of the nicest people you ever met in your life, in my experience. And then some of them are worse than what their reputation is. But for the most part, I've had a lot of good experiences with people on set, meeting all these different legendary actors and stuff. So I say all that to say, you know, what I like that version of that when that character is played by this guy. So when they see these archetypes redefined for a new generation, because that's what this show is the Gen Z version of Star Trek. And if they're my age or older, some of these people forget that they ever had a freaking childhood.
In 600 feet, turn
that
left
they were
onto
ever
White Oak School Road.
Okay, hold on. It's gonna tell. Okay, there we go. Left.
Turn left onto White Oak School Road.
Yup. They forget they had a childhood, man. They forget that they were young. They forget that something like this may have worked for them back then if they were born in this time. That's the other thing. There's new in the foods. There's new mental issues. There's new drugs.
At the next stop sign,
all that stuff. All kind of nonsense to mess a person up. And these kids are dealing with it in this new generation, right? But not everybody, but a lot of these people who are getting older, they pretend that they just shut off, like, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
At the stop sign, turn left onto Woodstream Drive.
You know, and then some of them have just straight up twisted agendas about what makes anything good to them, because they really are some very narrow, disrespectful, unpolished, uneducated, believing lies, don't ever want to hear real history, real facts, but will sit up and build a whole life off a lie type people.
Turn right.
On the risk of copyright strikes. You know, you use too much of that.
Take your next left onto Mosswood Drive.
You know, for the most part, you can use just about anything as long as it's under a certain amount of seconds. You know, it's got to be like you say something and then you play the little clip and it's like
turn left onto Mosswood Drive.
Boom, that's it.
Then your destination
like
will be on the right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So more than probably like 5 seconds of anything won't get you in trouble on average. But there's some movies and some shows, and I know from experience, because I was doing a review of something one time and I used a clip from The Breakfast Club in an interview on The Breakfast Club. And your
destination is on the right.
Probably just like, 5 seconds. Didn't matter. They told me you take that off or your video will be flagged for copyright infringement. I said, God damn! All I'm doing is I talked about it. I want to show the reference of what I was talking about. I don't care about all that. You either gonna take it off. So I had to clip that part of the whole show, and it made my video less, in my opinion, impactful, because you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I had to get rid of it. I couldn't use it. Yeah. So yeah, y'all. So yeah, this guy that I said could have been late 20, I don't know. White guy who basically does a lot of review, and all his stuff is more or less the same. He's always, this wasn't good enough, that wasn't good enough. Who are these idiot directors?
Head towards Sullivan Land.
Everybody's an idiot. Everybody doesn't know what they're doing. Of course, he's sitting in his house with your toy and your video game collection and everything else that we all love. So I'm not saying I don't have one too, but I'm saying you're just a customer, homie. Like, if you know the lyric, you're a customer, homie. There's a difference in the people who make these movies and you. See, I make movies. I create concepts. I write stories. I produce what I write. I put it into something you can watch. Cyberpunk ATL right now, talk about my fan fiction piece. You know, as a fan, if there's anything I wish was more, I wanted to see more of Atlanta in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. I made it. I realized that in the genre of Cyberpunk, I can get away with that as long as I give respect to the original creatives, like as people are people.
At the next light, turn left.
You know, I'm not living off of that yet, if I ever will. And if I did, I just don't see that they're going to necessarily come for you personally. You know, it's more like, hey, you're pushing it along. You're helping us all get more light on this genre and what we love. And at the end of the day, it ain't affecting their bottom line, right? And I've seen other fans do way more seriously intensive stuff than what I've done on a fan fiction level. Like, there's this character, Ozob, who's a bozo, one of the clown characters, if you play Cyberpunk, you know what I'm talking about. And They did a whole game. I'm talking about a whole tabletop system with figurines and a board, and they did a dang.
At the light, turn left onto Georgia 34 West.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. I think they reached their goal and they made the damn thing. Like, it's a full box set game. And this is, and then when I looked up who's the creators behind it, I'm looking for some Brazilians because I know that the guys who created Ozob were some Brazilian guys.
At the light, turn right. Georgia 34 West.
And I thought to myself,
continue for 3/4.
I would assume they're at least friends. They gotta be friends because I know that's their original character idea. The guys in Brazil, and they have like a podcast and all this stuff about gaming, and that's what made that character. And then, you know, him for being a character in the game, and maybe they got a little coin or mignon, you know, for that, maybe.
In half a mile, turn
Maybe
right.
just, sometimes with stuff like that, I know they were at the premiere for the opening of Cyberpunk. Maybe that was enough for them, you know. Maybe they were just happy to be in the room with all the big timers when it was announced and officially debuted. So I don't know, but I do know that somebody made a full game based on that character and created all new characters in the world of Michael Pondsmith's original idea for Cyberpunk and how that looks and works. And it's another role-playing game, and they do tabletop games. And I said, I'll be damned. I mean,
turn right onto Brook Place.
It all started as a tabletop game with Mike Pondsmith and Artel Sawyer, which still is rolling, still making. Matter of fact, they got a new tabletop game coming out, and I can't wait. What I want to eventually do is I like collecting those manuals. I haven't started really.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
But I want to like get a collection going of those because you learn the lore from reading those handbooks.
At the stop sign, turn left onto Daisy Place.
I mean, it's just a lot of great writing, a lot of great illustration, you know, artwork on the inside usually, and I love all that. Like, there's one for G.I. Joe. It's a G.I. Joe tabletop game. I'm going on a big tangent right now. Why not? And I showed y'all. I showed it in a video, one of my shorts or whatever. But that thing is so damn cool. I was like, man, this book here, woo! I want it. It's such a cool ass. It's like the art in it is freaking dope. I was like, yeah, I like this. I liked it. And my whole point is, you know, there's different levels of fan. Problem with how Star Trek is right now. I know people who made full films. It's a known thing that fans do for Star Trek, and they're good. I'm talking about some really, really good stuff, right? And it'll be based on real canon. And in some cases, they may even have a budget to go get some legends to be a part of it because they liked it enough to be on it. Like before Nichelle Nichols transition, the queen herself, I call her the queen mother of black sci-fi, okay? She did a few of those. Proudly. She was a cast member on some of these fan-based created Star Trek series, shows and things. And they're great, some of them not so much.
At the next light, turn right.
I was like, no, okay, not really, but okay, y'all did it. Hey, you did it. You ain't sit around in your basement, picking your nose, picking your ass, playing video games, smashing your controller against the wall because you're trying to watch the show at the same time, and you get mad when you see a new version of a Klingon you don't like, or you don't like how they dressed, or you don't like how the other character related to your favorite whatever character. Man, look. First of all, I say that's where a lot of this, and especially the ones who got all these racist ideologies, because this dude that I'm talking about who's in this video, he at one point he was really going for the line that the main character on Starfleet, well, there's two main characters in my opinion. There's two number ones on the call sheet. I don't know what the call sheet looked like, but if I was putting that call sheet together, there'd be two number ones at the top of the sheet every day. You'd have the main young man who's the rebel, like I told y'all about, and you have the older lady who is the captain, who's also the voice of Mama Invincibles for the Invincibles cartoon. She does the voice for the mom. So yeah.
At the light, turn right onto Georgia.
Conyers, Georgia. I mentioned that in my video. You'll see all of that when you see the video. But anyway, I didn't know that about her. I looked up all this stuff to know some things, you know? And she's a seasoned actress, very seasoned actually. The way her take is on the character, the way I can tell as a actor, she had her fun with it. She owned it, as we have to do if you're really a true actor. And then the director and producers and everybody probably told her, okay, a little less of this and more of that. And they got you what we get. Now, some people are hating it because they like, man, she's the first captain to ever slouch in the captain's seat and act all like a teenager, but yet she, you know, she's dropping all this authoritative, grown-up conversation to the kids and do better, do this, do that. And I said, okay, she's taking the I'm the cool mom, slacker mom pose. But I'm noticing that in her doing that, it's reflective of, this is what I see. This is something I didn't even say in my video. This is why I do live, so I can tell y'all the stuff I can't fit in when I edit a lot. When I do a video, videos just, I have to edit them. Like I told you, this thing is long. I'm gonna be real with you, it's an hour. It's an hour. Most of y'all ain't gonna never finish that video. I know that. But there'll be a few people, and that's all I need. I only need a few people to boost my watch time hours and sit there and watch it and appreciate it. Because I got a lot to say, hell of a lot to say. And I want you to see it. But I know most people won't make it that far, but for the few who do, you're gonna be able to counter that with everything else I'm about to say. Like, to me, where we are in society, and there is no true we, but in American society, the many of us, I'll just say, we all endure whatever's happening, regardless of if we're participating in the legal processes, the political process. Like some people, I don't vote. No, okay, well, that's the dumbest shit on earth to me, but I don't even argue that people are bad no more. If that's how you feel, do whatever makes you feel like you can get out of bed and do another day. Honestly, I'm all with that. Because that's all that matters anyway. It really does. I don't look at
Head south on Sullivan Road.
This stuff like it should
Turn right
have to
toward
matter,
Georgia
but it
34
does.
East. Then you'll turn right onto Georgia 34 East.
Okay, but what? Okay. So yeah, so basically there was a point in the show where that captain, this new captain, is trying to get something approved to help the Klingon nation, who has been demolished pretty much. The whole Klingon empire, you know, some people love that word empire. They love the idea of it, but don't really truly understand what the hell empires are or how they are formed or maintained. You know, you are something. And even if you ever were military, all my friends who are military understand that, yes, you may have intel on certain things that citizens don't, and you may have been on the ground, boots first, involved in conflicts. But unless you are in charge of, you're a politician, you run and you finagle and shiest your way to the top, okay, and get into those higher seats, it's not really your army. It's not really your military. You may claim it out of all the shit you've been through and respect it from all the things you've been through, but it's not yours, you know what I'm saying? And that's why you take orders.
In 600 feet, turn right onto North Crest Drive.
And all that. Or if you don't take orders, you get penalized for it, right? Right. And that's all I know from everybody I ever knew was military. And I know people in every branch from all kind of eras and ages.
Turn right onto North Crest Drive.
All kind of ages. Young, old, in between.
In half a mile, your destination will right.
It gets deep. But anyway, there was a statement made when she's trying to convince this guy to let the Federation help the Klingon Empire. And he's like just doing the typical stubborn, that ain't our way, we don't need no help. And in so many words, he says, you know, there has to be a war of some sort where we team up all the different clans to beat y'all for this to work. Because otherwise, I can't just come to them and say, hey man, we're gonna take some help from the Federation. Then they gonna want to fight me. It's gonna be a whole bunch of other, it's basically what he's saying, right? So she's like, she gets mad and she basically, I'm trying to remember the exact line, but it may not be the exact line, but she basically says, he's it's got to be through conquest. He says, the hell with conquest? Do you want total annihilation? Do you want genocide? Or something like that, she said. And then that's the standoff. That's kind of the, you know, they don't know where to go after that. But I'm not gonna give away any, you know, cliffhangers or anything. But there's some other stuff that happens because of that. But the bottom line was, this guy who was doing a review goes on to say, well, yes, if you read a book talking, I was like, holy shit, this motherfucker is sitting in his basement talking about what a Hollywood producer who's written multiple shows, probably award-winning, and you're going to challenge that they don't know anything? Now, I'm somebody who's worked in the biz, so I will challenge some shit because I'm coming from a perspective on the ground. I may have even had lunch with the goddamn producer. You understand? I'm not joking. Seriously, I'm involved in a lot of shit that y'all don't see on damn YouTube. I'm building, man. And I know some of y'all are so ignorant. Y'all see a dude, oh, well, you said you a courier worker. You remember the brother from the Cosby Show that they found years ago? Somebody found him bagging groceries and asked him why he was doing that. He said, I got to pay my damn bills. That don't mean he stopped being an actor or he's still not a great actor. And people are like, no, that's a ridiculous thing. We got to get him work. So that little viral moment helped some producers say, oh my gosh, we can't let him go out like that. And he got a gig. He was on some show and he became, I don't know what the role was. It was a major role for him. It brought him back to TV, right? Totally different from his role on the Cosby Show as Elvin, the nicest son-in-law who was always a pushover. He was a totally different character when he came back in this other show. So I'm saying the moments that are supposed to happen for you will happen. And when these people sitting around in their basements and their little fancy microphones, because they got a decent job where they can spend some money and they got a couple of followers on YouTube, and they start feeling themselves because they start getting millions of YouTube followers, they making a living off YouTube. Okay, great for you. But don't be an asshole spreading misinformation about the process. Most of these writers, if they're writing for something like Star Trek, I'm not saying there are bad writers that get away with being lackluster in Hollywood. Lord knows there are. But Star Trek has some of the greatest writers in the history of television. And these people know a lot about war history, writing about war. And his concept was basically that conquest is what has maintained empires. And it is the way that empires are maintained. So don't tell him, this Klingon, that he can't focus on conquest. That's not going to maintain you. You'll end up in genocide. No, you dominate and you don't be in genocide. And so I was like, okay, so we got us a little kid here that's playing with his G.I. Joes versus what real casualties do and what have been proven to do psychologically to whole nations. All that conquest conversation leads to more war, and more war leads to more famine, and more famine leads to a never-ending war, and a never-ending war leads to, yeah, you might have your generations of sitting high on the horse, but if your children or your children's children have to pay the cost and the debt of your sins because you never taught them to be like, honestly, we fucked up. And we should have never been fighting. And we should have found a better way. And we got to stop all this goddamn kill being the only solution. But you can't tell a chump in his basement who gets off on watching violence all day to chill out, because these idiots really think that they're G.I. Joe in real life, but you're sitting in your basement making podcast videos, man. You're not the badass who you think you are. I don't care how many guns you got. I don't care how many people you may have gotten into something with. You may have gotten into a few moments. If you're comfortable enough to be on camera right now, you're not at the worst in the world, and you're not an all-day, everyday killer, soldier, whatever. You may have a side to you, and you may feel like you relate to a character. Hell, I relate to the Klingons, but I ain't them. And the real version of what they are is nothing I want to be every day. You got to get real about this, man. Y'all fans are getting psychotic and weird. And that's how we end up with more mass shootings, because some fool feel like they got something to prove. So they'll take a day to be an idiot, and then they end up dead any damn way. And it's like, for what? Because didn't nobody agree with you about your opinion on a show? It's some really sick-ass, water-draws-ass motherfuckers out here right about now. For real talk. Watch it when it drops, y'all. Don't mess around and have
Your destination is on the right.
bad luck, bad luck.